All right, today we're diving into QatarEnergy's electronic permit to work system. But we're not just talking about software and code. We're going to focus on the people, the human element that makes this whole thing tick. So let's meet the key players who ensure every job gets done safely. I mean, just look at a place like this. It's a massive, complex web of pipes, machinery, and moving parts. So the big question is, with so much happening all at once, how do you make sure everyone goes home safe at the end of the day? The answer isn't just one person or some fancy program. It's all about a carefully crafted chain of command. Think of it like a literal chain, where every single person is a critical link. They provide the checks, the balances, and the expertise. And if even one of those links is weak, the whole system of safety could fall apart. So let's meet the team that makes up this chain. We're going to start with the 5 main roles. You can think of them as the A-team, the ones who take a work permit from just an idea all the way through to a safely finished job. Each one has a very, very specific role to play. First up, you can't have a safe job without a solid plan. And in the e-PTW world, that plan always starts with the person we're going to call the planner. So who is this planner? Well, their official title is the Permit Applicant, or PAPE for short. This is the person who gets the ball rolling. They're the expert from the sponsoring department who knows exactly what work needs to be done and how to describe it clearly in the system. And let's be really clear here. The PAPE isn't just filling in some digital form. No way. They are laying the entire safety foundation for the job. They do the initial legwork of identifying hazards, and this is so important, they have to talk with the permit controller to make sure everyone is on the exact same page right from the get-go. Okay, so once that initial plan is drafted, it needs a green light from the top. And that brings us to our next key player, the commander, the person with the ultimate authority. This is the Permit Authority, or PA. As the most senior person on site, they have the final say. They hold the managerial power to authorize the work to actually happen. Their approval carries a huge amount of weight and responsibility. And the PA is definitely not just a rubber stamp. They are making critical, high-level decisions. They're the ones who officially authorize the work. They decide how long a permit should be valid. And for those really high-risk jobs, they're the ones who handpick an expert team for a deep-dive job hazard analysis. Now, with dozens of jobs happening at the same time, you could imagine things could get chaotic, right? You absolutely need someone who sees the entire playing field. And that's the job of the coordinator. Officially, this is the permit controller, or PC. Honestly, the best way to think of this person is as the air traffic controller of the entire worksite. Their main job is to manage the flow of all the permits, making absolutely sure that one team's work doesn't accidentally create a new hazard for another team nearby. And you can see just how central this role is. The PC has that complete bird's-eye view of everything going on. They double-check that equipment is properly isolated, they jump in to solve any conflicts between jobs, and they are the one who physically issues the permit to the crew and, just as importantly, closes it out when the work is safely done. So a permit is really just a document, right? It's just words and checkboxes until someone verifies that those conditions actually exist in the real world. That's where our field scout comes in. This is the Area Authority, or AA. This person is the essential link between the plan on the screen and the reality on the ground. Their main job is to get out of the office, walk the site, and put their own eyes on the job to confirm that every single safety precaution is in place. Yeah, we're talking literal boots on the ground here. They do a full physical inspection, and only after they are 100% satisfied do they endorse the permit. This is a non-negotiable step. It's there to prevent anyone from just approving safety checks from behind a desk. The AA's presence is the guarantee that what's on paper is what's happening in the field. And finally, we get to the person at the sharp end of the stick, the one leading the crew that's actually doing the work. This is the crew leader. This is the Worksite Supervisor, the WS. They are in direct command of the work party. It's their job to make sure every single condition on that permit is followed perfectly by every person for the entire time the job is active. No excuses. And their duties are extremely hands-on. They kick things off with a toolbox talk, briefing the whole crew on the specific hazards and controls for that job. They make sure the permit is posted right there at the worksite for anyone to see. And this one is huge. They have to be physically present the entire time work is going on. If the WSO leaves the site, the work stops, period. Okay, so that's our core team of 5. But, some jobs come with very specific dangers that need an extra layer of expert oversight. That's when you call in the specialists, the support crew. This table gives you a few quick examples. If there's any chance of flammable gas, you need an authorized gas tester to check the air. If the job involves radioactive materials, a radiation protection officer has to review and approve the permit. And anytime there's hot work, like welding or grinding, you'll have a dedicated fire watcher whose only job is to look for sparks and be ready to raise the alarm. These are the experts you bring in when you need them. So, we've met all the individual players, but the real magic is in how they all interact. So let's see how a permit actually moves through that chain of command, one step at a time. And here it is, the whole process laid out. You can see that beautiful sequential workflow. The planner, our PAP, requests it. Then the commander, the PA, authorizes it. The coordinator, the PC, validates and issues it. Then the field scout, the AA, endorses it on site. And finally, the crew leader, the WS, accepts it. Only after every single one of those handoffs is complete can the work actually go live. It's a perfect system of checks and balances. So why does all this matter? Why is it so important to understand the whole team, even if you only have one of these jobs? What's your real place in this chain of safety? This quote right here, pulled straight from the official QatarEnergy material, says it all perfectly. Safety isn't just one person's job. It's a shared responsibility. When you understand what the area authority is looking for or why the permit controller is asking a specific question, the entire system just gets stronger. You're not just a cog in a machine, you're an informed partner in keeping everyone safe. And that leaves us with one final thought. We've met the planner, the commander, the coordinator, the field scout, and the crew leader. So, which one of them is the most important link in this chain? Of course, you probably guessed it. That's a trick question. The real answer is all of them. The system is only as strong as its weakest link, which means every single person has to perform their role perfectly every time.